That sounds ignorant, but that's really where it came from. And it's wrong.
Country music has given the world unforgettable voices, heartfelt lyrics, and legends who shaped American sound. But behind the fame and cowboy hats, some stars earned reputations for all the wrong reasons. From fiery tempers to shocking scandals and feuds that tore friendships apart, these artists left trouble wherever they went. Their fame couldn't hide their darker sides and their bad behavior. Join us as we uncover the truth behind the 10 most awful personalities in country music, stories that prove not every song hides a clean soul. Number 1. Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen rose from small-town roots in Tennessee to become one of the biggest names in modern country music. Known for his rough Southern charm and soulful voice, he blended country storytelling with pop and rock energy. After competing on The Voice, his rise was quick. Albums like Dangerous, the double album, and One Thing at a Time made him a streaming powerhouse, attracting fans across genres. His relatable lyrics about heartbreak, small towns, and late nights made him connect deeply with listeners who saw themselves in his words. But Morgan Wallen's success has never been free from controversy. His public image often reflected a mix of rebellion and recklessness, which added to his fame. He was known for wild nights, drunken incidents, and a disregard for polished celebrity behavior. In early 2001, his career faced its biggest test when a neighbor's video captured him using a racial slur outside his Nashville home. The clip spread rapidly, causing an industry-wide uproar. His record label suspended him, and major radio stations pulled his songs overnight. It looked like the end of a rising empire. Yet the fallout revealed something deeper about country music's culture and audience. While executives distanced themselves, fans doubled down on their support. His albums soared to the top of streaming charts, breaking records even as he faced backlash. Many defended him as a flawed but genuine figure, arguing he deserved a second chance. Others saw the surge as proof of systemic issues within the industry, how controversy could fuel success rather than stop it. He apologized publicly, entered a rehabilitation program, and pledged to learn from the incident. His return was both expected and debated. Critics accused the industry of rewarding bad behavior, while fans celebrated his comeback tours selling out in minutes. The tension between forgiveness and accountability defined his story. Meanwhile, Wallen continued to release hits that topped radio and streaming platforms, reshaping the sound of contemporary country. His controversies forced the genre to confront uncomfortable questions about race, redemption, and responsibility. Whether loved or criticized, he remained one of its most influential and polarizing figures. Morgan Wallen's journey is a mirror reflecting both the best and worst sides of fame in country music. His rise from a small-town dreamer to a global star came with a price, one that tested his character and the values of the community that made him famous. Years after that night outside his home, his name still sparks debate. But one thing remains certain: Morgan Wallen changed country music forever, not just with his songs, but with the storm that followed them. Number 2. Jason Aldean. Jason Aldean built his name on small-town pride, blue-collar grit, and stadium anthems that blurred the lines between country and rock. Born in Georgia, he rose through the Nashville scene with hits like Dirt Road Anthem and My Kinda Party, crafting a brand that celebrated American resilience and Southern identity. For nearly 2 decades, he stood as one of country music's biggest stars, drawing massive crowds and whose songs defined a generation of rural life. But behind that success came controversy, especially when his art crossed into cultural and political debate. In 2023, Aldean released Try That in a Small Town, a song that ignited national outrage. Its lyrics championed local unity and self-defense, but the music video became the lightning rod. Shot in front of a courthouse linked to a history of racial violence, the imagery, combined with scenes of protests and chaos, sparked accusations of racial insensitivity and coded political messaging. Critics claimed the video glorified vigilante justice and tapped into divisive rhetoric. Supporters, however, saw it as a defense of law, order, and traditional values under attack. Jason Aldean pushed back against the backlash, insisting the song wasn't about politics or race, but about community and respect. "It's about taking care of each other," he said, doubling down on his belief that the outrage was misplaced. Still, the controversy only grew, reflecting the deep divide in modern America, and how country music often sits at its center. Some radio stations temporarily pulled the track, while others used it to rally listeners who felt misunderstood by mainstream media. The debate turned Aldean into both a symbol and a target, depending on who was watching. However, his defiance wasn't new. Over the years, Aldean had built a reputation for blunt honesty and traditional masculinity. He avoided Hollywood gloss and rarely apologized for his choices. That same attitude won him loyalty among his core fans, but made him a polarizing figure in an era of heightened cultural sensitivity. To his critics, "Try that in a small town" was a step too far. To his defenders, it was proof that Aldean stood for real people, not headlines or trends. Despite the uproar, the song climbed the charts, fueled by controversy and support alike. Concert crowds chanted louder than ever, proving his hold on country's heartland was unshaken. Jason Aldean's story shows how deeply music and identity intertwine in America, how one song can divide and unite, offend, and inspire. Through every storm, Aldean stayed true to his roots, unapologetically Southern, fiercely loyal, and unafraid to speak his mind, no matter the cost. Number 3. Toby Keith. Toby Keith was one of the most outspoken and recognizable figures in country music, a man whose deep Oklahoma drawl and patriotic lyrics made him both beloved and controversial. Rising in the 1990s with hits like "Should Have Been a Cowboy," Keith quickly became a symbol of the American everyman. His music blended toughness and heart, and his concerts were rowdy celebrations of blue-collar life. But it was after the 9/11 attacks that Toby Keith's image took on new power and new controversy, reshaping his career forever. In 2002, he released, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, The Angry American, a song that captured the raw emotion of a grieving and angry nation. Its lyrics promised fierce retaliation for the attacks, and the blunt line, "We'll put a boot in your ass, it's the American way," became a cultural flashpoint. Many fans saw it as a patriotic anthem of strength and unity. Others viewed it as inflammatory, overly aggressive, and insensitive to the complexities of war. The song divided listeners, but it also cemented Keith as a voice of patriotic defiance when America was at its most emotional. The song soon led to one of country music's most famous feuds between Toby Keith and Natalie Maines of the Chicks. Maines called his song ignorant, criticizing its tone and message. Keith responded by projecting her image alongside Saddam Hussein during his concerts, intensifying the public clash. The feud exploded, exposing a rift between two very different visions of what country music and patriotism should represent. Fans took sides, and the argument reflected the wider political split sweeping across America in the early 2000s. Through it all, Keith refused to relent or apologize. That defiance became his trademark. While critics called him brash and opportunistic, his supporters saw him as authentic, a man who said what many others only thought. Beyond politics, Toby Keith was also a savvy businessman, building a restaurant chain, record label, and beer brand. He managed his image carefully, staying connected to ordinary people even as his fame grew. But his brash personality and outspoken style meant controversy followed him for years. Whether sparring with other artists, defending military families, or challenging the music industry itself, Keith never softened his edges. Toby Keith's career showed how country music could serve as a reflection of America's deepest feelings: pride, anger, loss, and unity. His songs became rallying cries for millions, while his critics accused him of turning pain into politics. Yet even they couldn't deny his influence. Through decades of hits, feuds, and debate, Keith never stopped being himself, loud, loyal, and larger than life. His legacy stands as both an anthem and an argument, proving that in country music, conviction can be as powerful and as divisive as any melody ever written. Number 4, Natalie Maines. Natalie Maines rose to fame as the fiery lead singer of the Chicks, one of the most successful country groups in history. With her bold personality and powerful voice, she helped redefine what female artists could do in a genre long dominated by men. The trio's early hits captured humor, independence, and emotional truth. Fans admired Maines' confidence, and critics hailed her as a symbol of modern country womanhood. But in 2003, a single comment she made on stage in London would transform her life, her career, and country music itself. During that concert, as the United States prepared for the Iraq invasion, Maines told the crowd she was ashamed the President of the United States is from Texas. It was a spontaneous remark, but it unleashed a firestorm unlike anything Nashville had seen. Country radio stations banned the Chicks overnight. Fans organized CD-burning rallies, sponsors pulled support, and fellow artists condemned the group. What had been America's sweethearts were suddenly labeled traitors. The backlash was brutal, revealing how fragile stardom could be when politics entered the picture. Maines refused to retreat. She stood by her words, saying she had the right to speak her mind as an American. The Chicks faced threats, public humiliation, and loss of airplay, yet they didn't break. Instead, they channeled the pain into their 2006 album, Taking the Long Way, which included the hit, Not Ready to Make Nice. The song was both an anthem of defiance and a confession of exhaustion, expressing anger at the treatment they endured. It won 5 Grammy Awards, including Album and Song of the Year, proving that resilience could outlast rejection. For Natalie Maines, the controversy changed everything. She became both a symbol of courage and a target of hatred. Her outspoken nature, once seen as refreshing, now marked her as a menace in a deeply divided America. While some country fans never forgave her, others admired her for standing firm in a genre that often discouraged dissent. Over time, her legacy evolved beyond that one moment. She inspired a new generation of artists to speak up, question norms, and challenge power in an industry that prized silence over conflict. Today, Natalie Maines is remembered not just for her voice, but for her willingness to risk everything for conviction. Her story is one of resilience and rebellion, a reminder that music can spark more than joy or comfort. It can ignite a national conversation. Through triumph and backlash, Maines proved that staying true to one's beliefs can cost everything, and yet, somehow, give even more back in return. Number 5. Gavin Adcock. Gavin Adcock's story in country music has been as unpredictable as his personality, a mix of charm, chaos, and controversy that has drawn attention far beyond his songs. A former college football player from Georgia Southern University, he first captured public interest not through music, but through his viral antics on the field and online. When he later turned to country music, he brought that same wild energy with him. His rise was fast, fueled by a rowdy persona that made him stand out in a genre often known for polished perfection. But fame, as Adcock quickly learned, came with a cost. In early 2025, Adcock found himself in hot water after making a comment that ignited fierce debate across the music industry. When Beyoncé released Cowboy Carter, a project blending country and black musical traditions, Adcock dismissed it with one blunt remark that it wasn't country music. The statement, shared on social media, exploded almost instantly. He was accused of racism, ignorance, and disrespect toward one of the biggest cultural moments in modern music. What had been a moment of celebration for country's expanding identity became a scandal that defined his career. Adcock tried to backtrack, claiming he was only defending traditional country sound and not attacking Beyoncé personally. But the damage was already done. His name became a trending topic for all the wrong reasons. Promoters hesitated to book him, and online debates raged about whether he represented the worst of country's old guard or simply spoke without thinking. The issue forced many fans to question what authenticity really meant in country music and whether Adcock's version of real country excluded too many voices. The backlash was massive, but his response made it worse. Just months later, Adcock was arrested for reckless driving after police reported he'd been speeding and behaving erratically on a road. The arrest added fuel to an already burning reputation. News outlets painted him as reckless both on and off the stage, a man too wild for his own good. For some, his downfall felt deserved. For others, it was a messy evolution of a young artist learning hard lessons in public. His fans remained fiercely divided, with some defending his right to free speech and others demanding accountability for his words and actions. Through every controversy, Gavin Adcock embodied the new age of viral fame, where one moment can build a career and the next can break it. His story is a warning about the speed of modern judgment and the weight of a single statement in an age where every word spreads instantly. Whether he recovers or fades away, Adcock's rise and fall have forced country music to confront its boundaries once again, and to ask who really decides what belongs within them. Number 6. Maren Morris. Maren Morris began as one of Nashville's brightest stars, a Texas-born singer-songwriter whose voice and lyrics pushed country music into new territory. Her early songs like My Church and 80s Mercedes blended traditional storytelling with pop, earning her Grammys, chart-topping hits, and critical acclaim. She spoke openly about her struggles in an industry that often demanded conformity. From the beginning, Morris was never content to play by the rules. She wanted to change country music, not just succeed in it. Over time, that result turned her from a rising star into one of its most divisive figures. Morris's outspokenness became both her strength and her burden. She often challenged Nashville's traditions, calling out what she saw as genderism, hypocrisy, and exclusion within the industry. Her words made headlines as much as her songs did, She supported inclusion and diversity in country music, clashing with artists and fans who preferred the genre's old image. Many admired her for standing up for what she believed in, while others accused her of arrogance and self-righteousness. To some, she was brave. To others, she was the troublemaker who turned her back on her own roots. By 2023, the tension between Maren Morris and the Nashville establishment reached a breaking point. In interviews, she described the culture of mainstream country as toxic, criticizing its resistance to change and its hostility toward difference. Her comments sent shockwaves through the genre. Many fans and fellow artists reacted with anger, claiming she was disrespecting the very community that made her famous. Still, others saw her words as long overdue, a challenge to an industry that often silenced those who dared to question its traditions. Morris didn't back down. Instead, she decided to step away from country music entirely, announcing she would focus on new creative directions. The reaction was explosive. Some praised her decision as a brave act of artistic freedom, while others saw it as betrayal. Country purists claimed she had abandoned her fans, while her supporters said she was breaking free from an environment that never fully accepted her. Despite the controversy, Morris moved on, refusing to let labels define her. Her departure symbolized a broader cultural moment, a reckoning for a genre struggling between its heritage and its future. Maren Morris's journey reflects the clash between tradition and progress inside country music. She has been both a lightning rod and a trailblazer, testing how far Nashville can bend before it breaks. Through every headline and argument, her voice has remained steady, bold, emotional, and unmistakably her own. Whether praised or criticized, she continues to push country music to look at itself honestly, forcing the question that still hangs over her legacy: can a rebel truly belong in a place built to resist change? Number 7. Brad Paisley. Brad Paisley built his reputation as one of country music's most skilled guitarists. Born in West Virginia, he started performing at a young age, showing not only technical talent, but also a rare sense of humor that made his songs both heartwarming and witty. His early albums balanced heartfelt emotion with playful charm. Fans saw him as a down-to-earth performer who could make them laugh one moment and cry the next. By the 2000s and 10s, Paisley had become a country icon. But his willingness to tackle sensitive issues later tested how far country audiences were willing to follow him. In 2013, Brad Paisley released Accidental Racist, a duet with rapper LL Cool J that aimed to address racial misunderstandings in America. The song told a story of a white Southerner explaining his Confederate flag shirt to a black man and trying to bridge cultural divides through dialogue. On paper, the idea seemed bold, a country star using his platform to start a conversation about race. But the execution sparked immediate backlash. Critics argued that the song reduced centuries of racial tension into clumsy metaphors. Social media exploded with mockery, and even longtime fans struggled to defend it. Paisley, however, stood by his intentions. In interviews, he explained that the song wasn't meant to solve racism, but to start an uncomfortable conversation about it. He admitted that maybe the message got lost, but he insisted the attempt was sincere. His calm response showed the same sincerity that had defined his career, a willingness to take creative risks and speak from the heart, even when misunderstood. The controversy didn't destroy his career, but it did mark a turning point. From then on, Paisley seemed more careful about how he approached social commentary, though he never lost his humor or optimism. Beyond Accidental Racist, Brad Paisley remained one of the genre's most respected figures. He continued touring, mentoring young artists, and using his platform for charity and advocacy. His personality kept him in the public's favor, even as country music evolved around him. While some criticized him for playing it safe after the backlash, others saw him as a rare example of humility in an industry often built on ego. The controversy became part of his story, reminding fans that even good intentions can lead to complicated conversations. Brad Paisley's legacy rests not only on his technical skill, but also on his courage to experiment. He showed that country music could laugh, love, and stumble, all in the same verse. His career remains a testament to sincerity, the belief that even imperfect art can inspire dialogue. Though Accidental Racist may have divided listeners, it proved that Paisley was never afraid to use his voice, even when it hit the wrong note, in the hope of finding something real. Number 8. Blake Shelton. Blake Shelton's rise in country music was the stuff of modern legend, a small-town Oklahoma boy with a booming voice that turned him into one of the most recognizable figures in entertainment. His debut single, Austin, launched him into instant stardom. showing his ability to balance emotion with commercial appeal. Over the next 2 decades, Shelton became a fixture on both radio and television. He represented country's new face, traditional in sound, but mainstream in reach. Yet behind his laid-back personality and quick jokes, Shelton's career was often shadowed by controversy. In 2016, his public image took a hit when old tweets resurfaced, revealing offensive jokes about women, Muslims, and the LGBTQ+ community. The tweets, written years earlier, were crude attempts at humor that didn't age well in a more socially aware era. People debated whether the comments reflected his real views or just unwise humor from a different time. The backlash spread quickly, forcing Shelton to issue a public apology. He said the tweets were dumb jokes and added that he never intended to hurt anyone. Some accepted his explanation, others saw it as damage control. The incident wasn't the first time Shelton's bluntness caused trouble. Throughout his career, his outspoken nature and playful arrogance sometimes crossed into controversy. He often teased other artists, clashed with critics, and made headlines for personal feuds. Yet, paradoxically, those same traits also made him relatable to his audience. His lack of pretense was part of his charm, one of the qualities that made him a star on The Voice, and helped him stay relevant even when country trends changed. For every critic, there were thousands of fans who saw him as unfiltered rather than offensive. Shelton's personal life also kept him in the spotlight. His high-profile marriage and divorce from Miranda Lambert, followed by his relationship with Gwen Stefani, drew constant media attention. Some fans accused him of moving on too quickly, while others admired how open he was about his happiness. Through it all, he maintained his personality, joking about fame and controversy alike. He once said that the best way to survive in show business was to laugh at yourself before everyone else does. That self-awareness became part of his brand. Despite occasional missteps, Blake Shelton remained one of country music's most consistent hitmakers. His career reflected both the power and the pitfalls of being overly public in a digital age. Every mistake became a headline, but every song reminded fans why they loved him. For better or worse, Shelton's story is one of resilience. A man who stumbled, laughed, and kept singing. He proved that in country music, authenticity isn't about perfection, but about surviving the storm with your boots still on. Number 9. Jason Isbell. Jason Isbell built his name as one of country and Americana's most thoughtful songwriters, a man whose honesty and emotional depth set him apart from the glitter of Nashville's mainstream. Born in Alabama, he began his career with the band Drive-By Truckers, where his writing hinted at a rare sensitivity beneath the Southern rock sound. When he launched his solo career, his music became more personal and powerful, filled with stories drawn from his own battles and self-discovery. By the time his album Southeastern arrived in 2013, Isbell had become more than a musician. He was a storyteller of truth and pain. But with that honesty came challenges. Jason Isbell was never afraid to say exactly what he thought, even when it challenged his own community. In an industry that often prized politeness over confrontation, he used his voice to push back against what he saw as hypocrisy in country music. He spoke openly about politics, race, and inequality, subjects that many Nashville stars avoided. Fans who loved his songwriting sometimes turned on him for his outspoken liberal views, while supporters praised him for courage in an environment that often punished dissent. Isbell's social media presence amplified his reputation as both a truth-teller and a provocateur. He called out fellow artists for avoiding political issues and criticized the industry for prioritizing comfort over honesty. When controversies erupted, Isbell was among the first to speak. His realness drew headlines and resentment in equal measure. Some accused him of being arrogant or self-righteous. Others saw him as one of the few artists willing to confront the uncomfortable truths at the heart of Nashville's culture. Despite the arguments, Isbell's artistry only grew stronger. Albums like Something More Than Free and Reunions showed his ability to balance social commentary with emotional storytelling. His lyrics dealt with love, recovery, and responsibility, both personal and collective. While critics praised him as one of the best songwriters of his generation, his refusal to separate art from ethics meant his work always came with tension. To many, he represented the future of country and Americana, honest, challenging, and unwilling to flatter anyone's comfort zone. Jason Isbell's career proves that country music can hold multitudes: beauty, anger, empathy, and truth, all at once. He may never fit neatly into Nashville's mold, but his influence stretches far beyond it. Through his music and his words, he forces both fans and fellow artists to question what it really means to belong to this genre. Whether seen as hero or heretic, Jason Isbell remains a vital voice, one whose courage to speak, even when unpopular, ensures that country music continues to reflect not just where it's been, but where it's going. Number 10. Miranda Lambert. Miranda Lambert built her career as one of country music's fiercest and most independent voices. Born in Texas, she rose to fame through Nashville's Star and quickly proved herself as more than just a contestant. She was a songwriter with fire. Her debut album, Kerosene, established her image as a woman who could outright and outperform almost anyone in the industry. Over the years, she became known for her emotional storytelling and willingness to explore themes of heartbreak, revenge, and resilience. Lambert wasn't just another country star. She was a force of nature, balancing toughness and tenderness. Her music reflected her personality. Albums like Revolution and The Weight of These Wings showcased her ability to blend personal pain with universal emotion. But her fierce mind also meant controversy followed her throughout her career. Whether it was her highly publicized divorce from Blake Shelton or her blunt remarks about fame, Lambert rarely avoided confrontation. She had a reputation for saying what others were too afraid to voice, earning both admiration and criticism. Her straightforwardness became both her armor and her weapon in an industry where women were often told to play nice. In 2023, Miranda Lambert once again found herself at the center of public debate, this time during one of her own concerts. Mid-performance, she stopped singing to call out fans who were taking selfies. She was visibly frustrated. The moment, caught on video, went viral within hours. Some applauded her for defending her art and demanding respect for live music. Others accused her of being rude, ungrateful, and unprofessional. The argument spread quickly, dividing fans and reigniting discussions about how artists and audiences connect in the age of social media. Lambert never apologized for the incident. She stood by her words, saying that live shows should be about shared moments, not screen time. Her response reflected the same authenticity that had defined her entire career. While critics called her temperamental, her loyal fans saw her as unapologetically real, a rare quality in a world obsessed with perfection. The controversy may have sparked debate, but it also reminded people why she mattered. She cared deeply about the music itself. Over time, Miranda Lambert's career has come to symbolize both the power and the price of honesty in country music. She refuses to water down her emotions or her opinions, no matter the cost. Her legacy is not built on politeness, but on passion, the same spark that keeps her songs raw, relatable, and alive. Whether she's praised or criticized, Lambert continues to prove that authenticity is her greatest weapon and her truest gift to country music. What do you think about these country music artists? Let us know your views in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.